Hello, beautiful people. My name is Athol, and this is the Chain of Seduction. And today I'm going to go through the Chain of Seduction and show why everything is happening in the order it is for someone that you are meeting for the first time, where you're trying to, seduce them into having a sexual relationship with you, where you're trying to create them as your new partner. So the first link is the physical. And I know this may sound horribly politically incorrect, but the reality is, when you are meeting someone for the first time, and this is whether you're male or female, you're going to give them the very quick once-over and make some kind of assessment as to whether or not you think they are basically sexually attractive, whether you think they are fit, whether you think they are healthy, and you're just going to make a fairly snap judgment on this. You just do the scan and look and decide, and then based on your own sort of body's agenda, you're going to decide whether or not they are someone that is interesting to you on some sort of just basic libido sexual level. And if they pass whatever the test is, then you can go on to the other 5 links in the Chain of Seduction. But if they fail the test and you look at them and they don't meet whatever your criteria is, they don't meet whatever your standard is, you're not going to have any further interest in thinking of them as a potential sexual partner. And in a sense, you hit them with some sort of, friend zone, cloak of invisibility, and you pretty much don't pay any more attention to them in terms of trying to set up dates, trying to create a relationship, and seeking them out for sex. And if they try and seek you out for that, you're just not interested. Now we're on to the attraction link. And this is where people always ask the same question. What do you do? Who are you? Tell me about yourself. What are you into? What do you like? What do you do for fun? And we start checking each other out in terms of, how overall attractive we are. Sure, you pass the physical, but tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do for work? Are you high value? Are you appealing? Are you socially dominant? Do you lead in some way? How important are you? Where do you fit in your social group? We ask all these questions about someone's general attractiveness, and there's a mix of things too. It can be the way we dress. It can be the way we hold ourselves. It's the way we carry ourselves. It's the way we interact with people that makes other people think that we have high self-esteem and we are worth something to ourselves, and other people value us too. We also want to know if there's competition and other people are interested in that person as well, because sure, he's an attractive guy, but he sure does look more attractive if there are 5 women trying to talk to him as opposed to no one. If we pass that link in the Chain of Seduction, we become far more interested in the relationship comfort question. Are we going to be comfortable? Are we going to feel safe? Are we going to feel secure? Is this person basically pleasant and sociable and somewhat agreeable to be in a relationship with them? And we're going to want to assess not just how do they treat us, but how do they treat other people? Are they loyal? Do they have a good character? Are they considerate? Are they pleasant? Are they affectionate? Are they going to meet what would be the equivalent of our 5 love languages? Are they reaching out and connecting? Do we feel warm and fuzzy with them? Basically, another question to ask is, do we think deep down that they would be a good parent to our children, real or imagined, in the future? Now, in terms of how long this process lasts, this can actually take a number of weeks or months at this stage. We may take a while to create a sense of relationship comfort before people are wanting to necessarily go much further. Of course, that could be a whole lot quicker. One-night stands, of course, happen. So assuming that we have some sort of pass, that both people are comfortable with the idea of potentially having sex at some point, we move on to the energy link in the Chain of Seduction. And this is something that becomes far more important in marriages and long-term relationships as opposed to a dating relationship. Because the question is, do we have enough energy to do this? If everyone is young and don't have a care in the world, and they don't have a family, and they don't have kids, and they don't have careers, and they're just out on a Friday night having a good time, the energy link in the Chain of Seduction is almost pretty easily handled because they're out and they're seeking and they're active and they have tons of energy. But once you get into a long-term relationship, once you're in a marriage and time passes and you have responsibilities, the energy link in the chain of seduction becomes far more important. And one of the things I'm just going to mention really quickly in passing here, because I'm going to talk about this more when I get to doing just a video on just the energy link in the chain of seduction, is that the energy link tends to be far more of an issue for women than it does for men. And what I mean by that is, for the most part, when guys are exhausted and tired, they tend to still be able to be turned on and up for sex. They may want it sort of short, they may want it short and sweet, but at least they're always kind of sort of up for it. Where for women, it tends to be something that really kills your libido. And you have to think of it because we have that ancient wiring, and if she is exhausted, her ancient wiring is telling her if she has sex, there's a chance she could get pregnant, and then she has to expend all this extra energy, and then there's another kid that she's going to have to raise and take care of, and she's already tired now. So her body tends to switch off her libido when women are at a state of being pretty exhausted. So that thing of, I'm too tired, not tonight, maybe later, yeah, it can be a little bit of an excuse. It can be a little bit of a white lie, but some of it's pretty true as well. So moving on, assuming we've passed that energy link in the chain of seduction, we're into the initiation. And that's not just a sense of sexual initiation, it's also that sense of playfulness and being intentional and engaging with your partner inside and outside the bedroom. It corresponds with the attraction link in the chain of seduction, where you're doing this generalized display of how awesome and fun and interesting and high value you are in a general sense. Now we're trying to bring that in specific to our partner, and we're being playful, we're being engaging. Is this an enjoyable, flirty, connective experience? Are we meeting that requirement? Are we making a connection on that level? Are we being up and engaging and fun, or are we being down and depressing and dull? Because this is the final sales pitch to get to consummation. If the sales pitch is flat, why would we buy the product? And then assuming we've passed the initiation link, we're on to the consummation and we actually get to have the sex. So for someone who's in, starting a dating relationship or looking to meet someone or whatever it is, you have to pass each of these 6 links. You have to prove that you pass the minimum standards of physicality. You have to display enough attractiveness and that you're interesting in a general sense that they would want to consider, dating you further. You date them further and whatever to prove that you are someone that they could be comfortable to be in a relationship with. You've got to get them to a place where life in general has enough energy left over to think about having the sex, because remember, we're wired to think that the sex will create children, and children are a lot of work and a lot of energy. Assuming we have enough energy, we're going to be fun and playful and engaging and flirty, both inside and outside the bedroom, to the point where people are engaged enough and excited enough and looking forward to enough that they will have sex with you. So that's how the 6 links in the chain of seduction work, and they all tie to the 3 love systems, and the 3 love systems all tie to that biological agenda that's been established in the time before writing. That's an awful lot of stuff that I just threw at you today. We will keep talking. I will keep doing this stuff. This is not going to end. So please like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow.